Jumping on a sheep?
A rodeo. So I did it at a rodeo. I rode a sheep when I was like, probably 5 years old.
Wow.
And they have a bunch of sheep all like there, and all like the kids come up, and you have like a little rope you hold on to. And you hang on to the sheep, and then they.
That's
take
crazy.
off. Yeah.
That's super. That's cool.
I lasted like, I don't know, 10 feet. I had like a helmet on, fell
you?
off. I still have a trophy for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were like the one kid
No,
that
I
held
think
on
this
the
was
longest?
everyone got a trophy in one of this
This
scenario.
is a new generation.
Yeah, if you got on the sheep, I think you were walking away with the trophy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Animal that I want to ride probably would be like something fast. If I could ride anything and it'd work out, like the fastest animal, like a cheetah. But obviously, they're
Cheetah's gonna be tough to ride.
yeah, probably.
So the Thrillist.com, they have the top ranked animals to ride or that you can ride.
Okay, it's like a recommendation list.
I don't know if it's recommendation. Like these are top 12 animals of riding.
Okay.
So like 12th on the list is yaks.
Okay.
Like they're slow. It kind of look like cows. They like
Right.
They
It took me a while to remember what a yak looked like, actually.
well, you can make like cheese with their milk and
Okay, they're like fluffy cows. Is that
and they're like edible. So like it's transportation that can also be eaten, which is nice.
So then, what like is that what yaks are used for usually? Probably their milk.
Like in Holland stuff. Like they're like yaks used to be like kind of like oxen too, where they're like plowing fields and things like that.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, you can yak milk. Camels is number 11.
Yeah, I figured camel would be on there.
Yeah, camels always seem a little bit like awkward with the humps and stuff and everything. But in the desert, it seems like camels not really, like it's kind of a sought after thing to be riding.
It is sought after.
Yeah, in
Like Middle East and Africa, probably, right? Like that's where camels are.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
yeah,
based on the desert type of location.
it's just that they can like walk further. Like they were talking like the Middle East, Sahara Desert, parts of Europe, Mexico. You can end up on a camel.
Okay. I actually went to the zoo the other day with
Really?
my family. Yeah, I saw a camel.
Did you ride it?
I did not ride
No.
it.
Would your little girl ride a animal? Would you put her on like a sheep?
Yeah, I should have helmet, I guess.
Yeah.
If for this, what was it called again?
Mutton busting.
Mutton busting.
Mutton busting.
Mutton busting. I'm actually a huge fan. I know we'll talk about it later of riding horses.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to live in Chile, and it's a big thing down there.
Yeah.
Like riding horses. The police ride horses sometimes.
That's like Canada too.
Yeah, Canada too. They got the Mounties, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan. I really like it. I think I'm decent at it too. And
Wow.
I'm one with the horses.
Yeah. I grew up on horses, riding horses. We used to go for like 2-week trips on horses into the mountains.
Wow, with your family?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We did a lot of horseback riding. My parents still have a couple horses.
Yeah, they got some land too, right?
Maybe let's go through a few of these animals on the list because
sorry.
I know you have like some stories we could break off into here too.
Yeah.
Because number 10 on the list is elephants.
Right.
Elephants is one of the ones that like it's getting a bad rap.
Yeah.
For riding.
Rightfully so, though. Elephants are, of course, majestic, big animals. They're very much wild animals.
Yeah.
Should not be in captivity. You probably heard about this. Like, there's lots of animal sanctuaries.
Yeah.
You hear about elephant sanctuaries.
So we went to an elephant sanctuary in Thailand.
Right.
And
Please tell me you didn't ride the elephant.
The wife, like, before we went there, she wanted to make sure like this one wasn't an elephant riding one. And then she did a bunch more research on like all the good that this sanctuary does for elephants. So we went down there, and they're not like in cages; they're like living in this like
a field, like a big area,
and there's like a river running through it and stuff. So we went and we like made food for the elephants and fed them, and then like put them in the river and like threw mud on them and then washed them off and everything. And yeah, it was cool.
Do you feel like I'm actually really glad that you did that research? That's really awesome because I've never done anything like that. But,
yeah.
Assuming that I would ever go to like Asia, I definitely want to go to like kind of like what you're describing.
Yeah, it was cool. Like it was an experience. There's a lot out there that are riding elephants though.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of sanctuaries that are riding elephants.
And that's the thing that like a lot of them were called sanctuaries to be, changed from, like animal, like zoo, like elephant zoos or whatever other name they use. And then they all started calling themselves sanctuaries to try to like put mud on the name.
Oh, yeah.
So like some would actually be sanctuaries where it'd be kind of like what you're describing, where others would be called sanctuaries, but you could still go and ride them. You could still go and do whatever you want to them, really, based on the abuse that their owners do. But so I was gonna ask you, like, the vibe you got there, did it feel like at all like this actually was a little bit?
It felt
forced, or was it mostly like?
It felt good, but I know what you're saying, because like there's also the part where you're like, there is like the elephants being like, okay, you're doing the same thing every day for tourists, and like, oh yeah, we're gonna wash him today and everything. It's like, well, he just did this yesterday, and then the day before, and then the day before.
Mud him again, or like even like an hour before. Do you think like someone would have came and?
No, we did a full day event there.
Okay.
Like you drive in, like it was 3 hours from the city. You're driving like this old truck down these like crazy trails, like you're just in the back of a truck. Oh, it was wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome though.
What was the research you did for why people shouldn't ride elephants? Just because they're being like...
Well, actually, I was going to get into it right away. One of my stories has to do with elephants.
Yeah.
So let me just see. Okay, here it is. So there's actually in Ontario, there was a safari called African Lion Safari. Kind of a weird name. That's Ontario, but
yeah,
that.
Ontario, Canada.
Yeah, in Hamilton, rural Hamilton.
Okay.
So this was back in June 21st of 2019. This was Maggie the elephant, was being ridden for 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think of like we in Edmonton have a zoo.
Yeah.
We also have a Calgary Zoo.
Do we still have the elephant?
We still have Lucy. I saw her.
Okay.
She wasn't like out.
Yeah.
That's the thing though too. Lucy does do shows. So that is not cool that they make Lucy do all these shows, right?
Yeah.
You can't ride Lucy, as far as I'm pretty sure you're not allowed.
Yeah,
I've never seen anybody
riding Lucy. Yeah,
but so anyways, this is like one of the only at the time back in 2019, one of the only zoos that you were able to ride the elephant. Like if you think about it, like it's kind of you probably think like in Edmonton, like that'd be super weird to ride an elephant. Well, then again, now it's 2022.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the story. Maggie the elephant was ridden for 25 years. And this was actually at the end of the day, there was the last rider getting off her back there.
Yeah.
And her handler was dismounting. That was the last rider, the handler. And as she was getting down, out of nowhere, Maggie just grabbed the handler, chucked them against the wood edges there, like the wall, and started repeatedly hitting them with their trunk.
Yeah.
And actually, they actually ended up getting with a little bit of brain damage, a little bit of some lacerations on their head.
Crazy.
Just like I don't know where like
Maggie's had enough.
Maggie had enough. After 25 years, this is the first time they became aggressive.
Yeah.
And lunged at their handler. So,
crazy.
Like again, like these elephants are majestic animals. They're big animals. They're supposed to be in the wild. They're not meant to be in captivity. Right?
I know. So when we were driving through like the back roads of Thailand, so we rented like scooters and just kind of ripped through the backcountry, and you come across like elephants kind of chained up to like these they're like little lean-tos, and there's like a tiny bit of shade, and they're just laying there all day, and you're like, oh man, like this, you feel bad for the elephant in that scenario. Like
not even like how much chain? Like just a couple feet?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like they're just, slaves.
That's insane.
Water buffalo next on the list for animals that you can ride.
What? They're
like crazy? Asian cows,
but they're very big and strong, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no.
Mean, like it's a cow. Like it looks like a cow.
It's like a strong cow.
It's like you're riding a cow.
Yeah.
People ride cows. Like cow.
Now that I think about it, I've never seen anybody ride a cow.
So I did some research on like cow riding. Not much. Not much.
What happens when you ride the cow? Do they just not go?
Either they book it or they just stand there and not do anything.
That's what I figured, because cows are very much like, I'm not gonna do anything. They'll just stand there, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
8 on the list out of 12 was llamas. So they're native to the Andes Mountains. Llamas have been used for mountain treks for centuries, and they're predominantly pack animals. So you can ride them, but really you should only be doing that if you're like a small child. Because like they're not
that big.
They're not built for hauling people around.
Yeah, they're pretty small actually. Like in relation to the other animals you're describing here.
Reindeer on the list.
Yeah.
You can ride reindeer.
You can ride a reindeer
in Finland and Mongolia.
It's successfully done.
Yeah.
Wow. I did see an article. I didn't actually click on it, but somebody wrote, "Why do humans domesticate horses to ride when deer are perfectly good?" But I didn't click on it. But reindeer is like kind of the same thing, right? Like
big. Like they're bigger.
They're bigger than deer, but
yeah, like elk size sort of things.
Yeah.
Dolphins, number 6.
Yeah.
Did you do any research on dolphins? Did you see anything about dolphin riding?
Yeah, I got some stories about dolphins.
What's the story about dolphins? Because I didn't really look into it. I know it's a thing, but are people actually like riding on the back of dolphins, or are you just like swimming with the dolphins?
So you are doing kind of both in a way, but you are riding them in some sense. Like, so this is something I went to Mexico and I seen they had like just off the edge of the beach. They have like these little like mini
dolphin riders.
What are they called? Like Aqua World. What is it called?
SeaWorld?
SeaWorld, yeah. So they had little like mini SeaWorlds all over like Mexico if you go up and down the beach.
Yeah.
And there was this one where you could pay, and so what you do is like you can grab onto like a fin.
Mm-hmm.
This girl was 10 years old.
Yeah.
She was British, and her family were traveling to Mexico, Cancun. So she paid for this. Her family paid for the service for her to go swimming with the dolphins.
Right.
She was with 2 dolphins.
Okay.
Right. So what happened was she was just doing the normal thing. I guess the instructor told her, grab the dolphins here and they'll, take you up.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was the dolphins were biting, nipping, and eventually dragged the girl underwater.
Wow.
I didn't see how long it was, but she survived with some cuts and nips at her. But like, imagine having your kid just go underwater. And like these dolphins, how fast do they swim?
Oh yeah.
What can you do?
What are you gonna do about it?
You're in their element, right?
Yeah.
They eventually got the girl out. She went to the hospital. She ended up being okay. But it's important to know that dolphins are predators in nature.
Oh yeah.
So you have a small child,
and they're super smart too.
They're super smart. They're like they equate them to like close to human intelligence. They communicate with each other.
Yeah.
They have comedy. I read somewhere that dolphins are like one of the only other animals that have sex for pleasure.
Yeah.
Not just for reproduction purposes.
Right.
And yeah, there's been many like interactions with dolphins and small children, nipping, biting, kind of bullying. So it's just crazy. I did see too that there's a little parque in Tenerife. There's staff who do water work, which means you get in the water with the dolphins. They actually carry with them a little canister of emergency air in case these dolphins get aggressive or whatever. It's like 5 minutes worth of air.
Okay.
So if like let's say a dolphin brings you underwater and gets mean with you, you can grab that before someone helps you.
I think it'd be amazing to like swim with dolphins. Riding dolphins does sound a little scary because then like if you're, holding on to one and then you go underneath and then you just keep going.
You just keep going.
That's it.
You're done.
Yeah. It is a weird one too. It feels aggressive for a human to like attach himself to a dolphin.
Aggressive in what way?
Like you're just like you're bigger than they are, and you're just grabbing onto their fins.
I don't know how big is a dolphin. I think dolphins are.
They're
probably as big, or they're probably heavier.
They're bigger than a 10-year-old for sure.
No, but I'm telling you, dude, they're probably as big as an adult.
Yeah. So when we were in Australia back in 2019, we went to this spot. It's called Tin Can Bay, and they have this little spot where you can go down and feed these dolphins. And so they come in the morning. They come in and you feed them, and they kind of track these dolphins. Like one dolphin's been going there for like 15 years, and then each morning they have like a little spiel, like, because they don't know who's coming in. Like these are just ocean dolphins that come in to get fed because they know that they've been fed here for years.
Yeah.
And so the morning we were there, the one dolphin brought in like her 2 babies, and they were like, it's super exciting because it was like, I think it was the first time that these babies had been there or something like that. So it was cool. We got to feed them like little fish. You go in there and you each feed them a little fish. And
wow.
Yeah, it was wild.
That's super cool. Seeing little baby dolphins.
Yeah, it was.
Were they the same color as like your typical dolphin?
It seemed like the older the dolphins get, they get like a kind of a yellowy gray sort of look.
And what were the babies looking like?
They were like, it must have been like blue gray, like a little darker gray.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I know like sometimes animals when they're babies are different colors, right?
Yeah.
So I got you a quick fact here.
Dolphin fact?
A dolphin fact.
What?
A normal adult-sized dolphin is 7.2 to 9 feet long.
Okay. Yeah. That's from nose to tip. Yeah.
That's big.
That's big.
That's bigger than an adult.
That's
bigger
true.
that's almost like, I think that's bigger than a shack.
Yeah, it is a little bigger than Shaq. Yeah.
Imagine Shaq pulling you underwater.
Oh man,
you're done.
Yeah, don't hold on to Shaq diving in.
Let go of Shaq.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, number 5 on the list: tortoises.
You could ride a tortoise.
You could. That's what's weird about this list, because I saw this one on here. I'm like, this one. Those are giant tortoises, right? But they are, and you could like sit on them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like an endangered species list. I can't imagine there being like tortoise riding. Like there'd be nowhere you could just be like, oh, I want to go ride a tortoise.
No one like. Also, if a tortoise bites your hand, that hand's coming clean off.
Could be. Yeah.
They're super strong, and yeah, you don't want to mess. You don't want to mess with a tortoise at all.
Yeah. Number 4 on the list: giraffe. So you can go to South Africa and ride a giraffe.
I don't know why I'm not surprised.
Giraffes, like, one of those things though, is like they're real inactive, I guess. They like stand for a long time and they don't really move very often. So if you're looking for like a ungraceful kind of ride, maybe a stationary ride,
I feel like it'd be very like very sway type, because they're so tall, right?
Yeah.
So like, and
you just go from branch to branch sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen giraffes fight?
Is that when they're banging like their necks against each other and stuff?
They swing it like a whip.
Yeah. There's this one hotel in it must be South Africa too.
Yeah.
Where you can go and like the whole side of the hotel is like, there's like trees running up and everything. There's giraffes that kind of live in that area.
Yeah.
And they'll like come and like eat by your window and everything.
I've seen the videos, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a cool spot.
For sure.
Number 3 on the list, maybe this one probably would be where we get into like something a little more mainstream, bulls.
Right.
So that's when you look into rodeo. So like when I was looking up for this episode, animals like how not to ride an animal, animals you shouldn't be riding, accidents when riding animals, it's all rodeo related things.
Yeah, because they're just for sport.
GlobeandMail.com, they released a study saying rodeo won the world's most dangerous sports. His numbers, there's a guy, he did like, his name's Dale Butterwick, and he's actually from the University of Calgary. He created a rodeo injury database for 4 years to gather a bunch of information, trying to figure out what the chances are of someone getting hurt. It seemed actually lower than I was thinking, though, because he's saying that nearly 20 out of 100,000 rodeo contestants can expect. That's the one thing, though. So 20 out of 100,000 can expect to suffer a catastrophic injury.
Like life-altering?
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas in football, the rate is less than 1 in every 100,000 players.
That does seem low.
Catastrophic means they either died or had their life altered in a significant way.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, because you do see these guys get hurt, guys and girls.
Yeah.
All the time. And I feel like also there's a kind of like, what's it called, the vibe of like, if you get hurt, you just walk it off. You know what I mean? Like, you could literally like hurt your ankle, and these people will like kind of hop off, and they'll be like, oh, I'll just heal.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
You could probably tell, right? Like,
out of the rodeo events, bull riding most dangerous, and the most common injury is when the rider is stomped on like his chest or his back.
Ooh,
that's a bad one.
When you say bull riding, that's simply you grabbing onto the bull by one hand, and the other hand.
Yeah, they have like a little rope around them, and you're holding on to that. And
that's where people mostly get hurt, eh?
Yeah. So they're using more safety things now, like helmets, and they have kind of like these. They're called flak jackets, but they're kind of like bulletproof jackets essentially.
So they don't get stomped on.
Or like a vest, yeah. Since 1989, there have been 21 deaths in the rodeo circuit, more than any other professional sport.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of I don't know how much injury talk do we want to get into bull riding.
This is all you. You can do as much as you want with bull riding. Did it say anything? Well, I won't even. Animal.
Oh, go ahead. What?
No, I was just curious because you were obviously diving into the bulls. I was just wondering about the horses.
The horse is not on the list
of animals to ride.
These are the top 12 ranked animals to ride. So like bulls number 3, zebras number 2. And then the number one animal on the list to ride is an ostrich.
Oh my god.
So they do. South Africa is prime. They do a lot of ostrich riding down there. But that's like when you're talking, you want to do like ostrich races. They like have little saddles you put on ostrich and they like whip around. I think the same thing happens with emus, but in Australia.
Emus are bigger or smaller than ostriches?
Yeah, I think so.
I said ostriches. You know what? Now that I think about it, I feel like I've seen a video of this, of ostrich. Oh my god, I can't say it.
Ostriches?
Or how do you say it? I can't say it. Ostrich.
You got it. There you go.
Ostrich riding, and I almost thought it was fake.
It's real. Yeah, the emu is the second tallest bird in the world, only being exceeded in height by the ostrich.
Oh snap!
Yeah, ostrich is a little bigger. But yeah, it's for real, man. They put little saddles on them and do like emu and ostrich races and.
Wow, we have to put that video on the group because that's crazy. They go fast. I think is what I remembered.
Yeah, there's I don't know if they
have a whole league for it.
Yeah, there's a whole league for it. Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow,
emu racing.
That's really interesting, actually.
Would you ride an emu?
Yeah.
You okay with that?
I feel horrible for saying it, but honestly, well, okay. I would like to.
Yeah.
Would I? Probably not. Would I watch it once?
Yeah. So if you like, you feel you're comfortable riding a bird, and you're comfortable riding a horse.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm more comfortable riding the horse.
With a horse, so that's one thing. Like, so you say you wouldn't ride like an elephant.
Yeah.
But do you think the horse wants you on him either?
Well, that's the thing, right? Horses, it's like, this is obviously within, each person.
Yeah.
How everybody feels about it. Some horses, they like racing, but they don't need you, right? They can race themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think horses want to be ridden?
There's some days it doesn't feel like it.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes horses, they get upset, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to tell too. Like, it feels like maybe they're like.
But some people have connections with their horses.
Right.
So do you think when they have connections, they enjoy it?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think?
The horse is smart enough to accept a human rider, whereas
if they love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you think
I don't know.
I feel like I should have asked someone, because I actually know a lot of people that you probably know a lot of people too that ride horses.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's why I'm like being tentative with like how I describe horses, because I'm like, yeah, horses, like, they're not dumb, but they're not like super smart. So I'm just wondering, like, I know when I'm riding a horse, he's just kind of like,
yeah,
you know.
And they do a little bit of talking sometimes.
They think that donkeys were actually the first animal that humans rode.
Really?
Yeah.
Donkeys?
So there was some evidence like 4,700 years ago in Egypt. They found some donkey bones. And so the evidence they say that these were ridden by humans is when they looked at their teeth, like in the back of their mouth, it looked like there was like kind of wore down on the, you know how you put like a bit in a horse's mouth?
Mm-hmm.
So it looked like that was something they had done to a donkey skeleton, or a
I
donkey.
see.
So they noticed that in the skeleton. And then they've used some like radiocarbon dating now. And looks like around 2700 BCE was the earliest evidence of donkey riding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that because donkeys are smaller, right?
Yeah.
Like significantly. And they can carry one person probably.
Easily. And just keep going.
Yeah. And donkeys are used for like hauling things nowadays, right? Like equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think since our podcast is Blueprint for Failure, we should talk about a few injuries. I know you got some videos of people crashing and stuff.
Yeah.
There was you seem depressed to talk about it. Yeah, I guess so. I just looked up a few stats on bull riding injuries just to kind of see what the data was for that. According to the study, 36% of injuries to bull riders were severe. Fractures, the most common injury. Yeah. Concussions constituted 10% of all injuries, whereas neck injuries and concussions with other head and facial injuries for like about 30%. And The other half of the injuries were all minor, knee and shoulder, most commonly injured.
I have a quick fact here about horseback riding.
Yeah.
It is 3.5 times more likely to result in injury than motorcycling.
Horses.
Riding a horse, you're 3.5 times more likely to get injured than riding a motorcycle.
How is that possible?
Well, I feel like
if you're just riding a horse or this rodeo, like
it just says riding a horse.
Wow.
I mean, if you think about it, like you drive a car or you drive a motorcycle, either one, you're less likely to get into an accident than if a horse reacts in a weird way, or
that's true.
If a horse steps in something weird, or like you're saying, if a horse has a bad day, or if you jump off the horse weird.
Horse not going 100 miles an hour though either.
No, but it didn't say you'd be likelier to die.
Right, that's
true. It said
you'd
be likely to get hurt.
I see.
And I feel like in a motorcycle, I mean, I don't ride a motorcycle, but you don't get as many injuries, right? Like,
gotcha. Yeah.
You probably get, like you're saying, fatalities or such things.
Right. My dad, still a big horseback rider. So like this was probably 7-8 years ago now. He was up hunting with his buddy in the mountains, and they're riding horses, and there's this kind of a little stream, and it's kind of like muskeg on both sides of the stream, and like the ground's like real mossy, like you could sink in there pretty easy. And the horse my dad was riding kind of hopped down and then hopped up the stream, but then flipped over backwards and landed on my dad and kind of pinned him underneath him. And the horse was like trapped in like the crevice there and couldn't move, so he kept like slamming his head back.
Oh my.
And like broke my dad's shoulder. And they weren't sure what they were gonna do. Like the guy that was with them was like freaking out because they couldn't move the horse, and the horse was like out of control, and my dad just kept getting his like head and stuff like smashed into the ground. And so the guy was like, he came over with like a knife, he was gonna kill the horse to like stop it. And then my dad's like, oh wait. And then so I think what he ended up doing to get him off was he wrapped a rope around the horse and then like drug him to the side, sort of thing.
So he was slamming against, not your dad.
Yeah. To try to like move him so that he could like stand up, because the horse was just kind of panicking there too.
Yeah.
So my dad was like beat up, like soaked in the water, and so his buddy that was there with him was like not really a horseback rider. Like my dad was like kind of like
no, he was the guide.
Yeah, the guide for him. So they made like a fire and a camp and everything, and then tried to like bandage my dad up a bit, and then he still had to ride another 8 hours the next day to get back to the truck.
Oh my.
So rode the next day and then drove home, like loaded all the horses up, drove home and stuff. Couldn't use his one arm. His whole face was like black and everything. It's crazy.
How old are you?
This was like 7 years ago.
Oh, okay. So you were an adult.
Yeah, I was an adult. Yeah, I wasn't there for this.
Yeah.
But
yeah. How was that phone call? Like, hey, your dad got beat up pretty bad by he fought a horse and he lost.
Wait, my dad's like so like
he's okay now, by the way, guys. Like,
yeah, he's fine.
He's alive. Everything's fine.
His shoulder's still a little messed up, little bit sometimes, but I think it has scared him a little bit of horseback riding now.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Because it's just like he's done it for his whole life, but just like
once you get beat up though.
Yeah, you never know with the horse. It's you know, you trip, you step wrong, you do something weird, and then
you say boo in their ear. Sometimes.
Yeah, some horse is a little jumpy. So
yeah, that's wild though.
Yeah.
So does he still ride today?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. They'll take the horses out.
Just on like a flat field only.
No, he's still doing the mountains and hunting and stuff and everything too. Yeah, he's not real scared of it, but
that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of most of the stories I had then, Dan. Did you have some other animal riding stories?
I was just gonna tell you a list here. The top 3 ways to get hurt by a horse.
Okay.
So, number 1, actually, like you listed earlier, was the being stepped on. That is number 1.
Yeah.
Most common. Next one is kicks and strikes. This one scares me. I've seen videos of a horse
kicking somebody,
and I just think of the words KO. Like,
yeah,
when someone gets hit in the head, or even like in their ribs, I'm like, something's broken.
Yeah,
like it hurts.
They got some force behind it for sure.
Oh yeah, like the amount of like their legs are like mountains. They're ginormous, right? And then falls off of a horse is the third one.
So now that you're saying like these things, yeah, I can see why people have more injuries on horses, but they're not like bad injuries.
No, and that's why it said
like twist an ankle or something.
Result in an injury, not like death or like major injury. But yeah, like it's super easy to like a horse. Even like a horse like walks like moves to the left a little bit and you're there, you can like knock you over.
Oh, yeah.
You can like break something like super easily, right? Yeah, horses are they're crazy, man.
Yeah.
And then another one was how many people get hurt every year riding a horse in the United States, and this one said roughly 100,000 people.
Okay.
Sorry, 100,000 injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that a lot of these aren't reported. This is kind of the same thing I was telling you earlier. People don't, report because
aren't reporting them.
Because if it's a minor injury, like their ankle or like they just won't go to the hospital.
A lot of people that are riding horses too are like a little more hardy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, I twist my ankle, whatever.
Yeah, I'll walk.
Give me that Bud Light.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And the last thing I was gonna say was I have a video. I'll put it up. I'll show you, and I'll put it up on the group chat or the group story. And camels do have a weight limit, by the way.
Just camels like most, do?
Yeah, just like most animals, camels do have a weight limit. It's a video of this couple. I believe they're traveling from they didn't say where because it's just a quick video. But they're definitely somewhere with the desert here.
Yeah.
And it's two kind of like middle-aged, a little bit older. They're a little bit...
Hefty?
A little bit hefty.
Okay.
And so the video starts with the camel and it's, positioned down low.
Yeah.
So that people are on top already.
Yeah.
And the handler kind of shows them, okay, let's get up. Let's go for this walk, right? The camel tries to get up. And the camel, the front of it, the neck and the head... can't lift itself up. So all you see is the back legs just extending.
Yeah.
And the camel just can't get it. Just can't get the chest up basically. So they end up all falling forward. So just make sure that you reach the weight limit, I guess. Of the
right.
camel.
Yeah, exactly.
Read the signs before you ride. Right?
Yes. I'm going to try, I'm going to do a little more research and try to find some cool videos of the emu racing.
Yeah.
I'll post some of that because...
I bet you they're fast. I bet you they're so fast.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're skinny guys, but they're also very tall.
How fast, as we wind down the podcast, how fast can an emu run? What's your...
Okay, we're doing kilometers. It's probably going to be in kilometers, actually.
Yeah, I got it in kilometers here.
Okay. How fast can an emu run? Probably like a good old 25.
50 kilometers an hour.
Oh, that's double what I guessed.
Yeah. Crazy.
50 kilometers? That's how much you drive residential.
Yeah.
Well,
compared to an ostrich, who is supposed to be the fastest bird, how fast is an ostrich running?
It's got to be 60.
70.
Oh, my God. That's like highway riding.
That's crazy.
Could you imagine driving and seeing an ostrich beside you?
Yeah.
Because that's like...
They're booking it.
They're booking it. Is that like... You think that's fastest, or is that like an average, you think? Does it say anything like that? Imagine the average ostrich.
That's like the maximum speed. Like that's your top speed for an ostrich. Cheetah, like you're anywhere between 80 and 130 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
And then...
cheetah's the fastest, right? Can't ride a cheetah. Too fast.
You know how fast a falcon can fly, though?
Oh, I know this is fast because I actually remember hearing about this. If a cheetah is 130, and I think falcon is the fastest animal, I think I remember hearing about that. I'll say like 145.
Wow. This it seems made up now that I'm looking at the stat, but this is what they're saying. Yeah, let's just we're gonna get off topic here. This is like the fastest birds in the top 10 fastest birds. This is in miles per hour.
Okay. What is the fastest bird?
Falcon is 242 miles per hour.
No way.
That's almost 400 kilometers an hour.
242 miles per hour?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that. That cannot be right.
That seems
400 kilometers per hour.
Yeah. And then the golden eagle is 200 miles an hour.
Wow. That must be like free fall, like wings are back. They're trying to find this little...
yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really...
That's crazy. And it's got to be like a record. That can't be...
We got to do a bird-related Blueprint for Failure podcast. What would the...
What would it be? How not to bird.
How not to bird. Yeah.
Like birds that just don't do very good.
How not to hang out with birds. That we could talk about like some bird attacks or something.
How not to get hit by a bird. How not to... I actually have a story with my mother. she had a bird that that swung down. I think she said it was an owl. It was really close to her. Like, it swung down by her head.
Yeah.
And she just recalls looking at the bird and feeling like the wind gusts just pass her. And she almost like, she actually jolted forward.
Wow.
And she watched, like, she looked up passing by just because she was curious. Yeah. There's been many times where birds, like, swing by people with their talons, kind of just touch them a little bit, just gushing blood. Because they're so sharp and they're a lot heavier than people think. And if they just catch you on the neck, you're done.
Yeah, there's stories of like birds like just flying. Like if you have a little dog.
Oh yeah,
they'll just swoop in your dog out of your backyard and gone.
Your cat especially.
Oh yeah,
the cats are small enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's an eagle or, I think falcons are smaller than eagles actually.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna start fact checking myself.
Falcon speed 390 kilometers an hour. That is insane.
I can't even understand that. Dude, an average car goes 220 kilometers max, 250, something like that.
Yeah, like the ostrich is not even on the top 10 list of fastest birds.
Well, this is because it's flying, right?
Right.
Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe it's 400.
Would you ride a bird?
Which one?
I don't know, like a giant eagle. They're like, hey, you can ride a giant eagle.
Well, I think the giant eagle's wingspan is like 6 feet. So technically, we couldn't ride it. You're getting off topic here, George.
I know. I just want to look up how big wingspan.
George loves birds. We're going to go bird watching after this.
Oh, how big of a wingspan would a human need? So how big would a human's wings have to be to fly?
All right, guys. I think this is the end of the podcast.
I'm going down in a Google hole on this, Dan.
George has human bird people now on his computer.
They're saying that the average adult male would need a wingspan at least 6.7 meters to fly.
That's like over 20 feet.
Yeah, right around 20 feet, yeah.
Over 20 feet of wingspan.
Yeah, so 2 10-foot wings.
Oh my God. That'd be huge.
To fly. There you go. The things we learn on this podcast, it's amazing. I mean, that's what we do this podcast for, is to learn, right? Like, we're researching new things every week.
George is super fast at Googling. It comes in handy.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi is handy here, Dan.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Okay, thanks for listening,
That's
guys.
another episode of Blueprint for Failure. Drop us a review wherever you're listening. That would be fantastic to get a review from you guys. And
let us know of a story of you riding maybe a horse or an animal. We'd love to see other people comment and let us know what happened to them.
That'd be great. Find us on the Facebook. On the Facebook, look up Blueprint for Failure. You can do it there, blueprintforfailure.ca. You can find all our links there also. Okay, guys. Until next time.
Thanks for listening. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Blueprint for Failure podcast. Find everything you need at blueprintforfailure.ca.